One of the staples of our monthly breakfast is our secret shaker. And today, our secret shaker is Natasha Stanley from Bella Ragazza Boutique here in town. So, applause, yes. Natasha, where are you, dear? Oh, hey. Okay, so who are we going to recognize first today to hands with? Heather Montgomery, come on up here, my dear. We have for you an awesome prize basket from our friends at Brescia. Come on up. How many words can you text in a minute, Heather? 4,000. That's really good. Really nice.
Oh, thank you.
Heather Montgomery, everybody. And then Natasha, give me the name of one more person that you shook hands with. Where are you, dear? Mary Ellen? There she is. Come on over. So we have for you 2 tickets to a great event that's coming up Saturday night. It's called Battle of the Backpack, presented by the Foundation for Davis County Public Schools, featuring games like the Spelling Bee, the Geography Bee, Are You Smarter Than a 5th Grade Teacher? Hosted by yours truly. So there you go. Congratulations. At this time, we would like to say hello to the folks who are tuned in this morning via radio on WOMI Owensboro. That is 99.1 FM, 1490 AM. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we're going to recognize our brand new chamber members for September. So let's get to them. We have Best Western Plus of Owensboro with their modern amenities and look alive, slideshow operator. With their modern amenities and thoughtful design at the Best Western Plus Owensboro, you're sure to find that little something extra. For the business traveler, a spacious work desk and free internet access are included to ensure that you do not miss a beat while you're away from the office. For extended stays, each room provides a convenient in-room mini fridge. As always, the Western Plus Owensboro will provide you with the superior customer service that you are used to at any Best Western hotel. So please welcome Sanjay Kachia and Monarch I with Best Western Plus Owensboro. Delta Dental of Kentucky is proud to ensure over 700,000 smiles across Kentucky, helping members of your community get the oral care they deserve. As the most experienced dental carrier in the state, they specialize in delivering the best possible value and care to their members. Through their dental benefit programs and philanthropic program, the Delta Dental of Kentucky Foundation, they are committed to advancing oral health care for all communities across the Commonwealth. With us today, Jeremy Poston and Tanya Eschenbaugh with Delta Dental of Kentucky. Each real estate transaction is different. Every buyer and seller has a differing set of circumstances, preferences, and needs. Jason Bellamy with Home Realty Incorporated will help you navigate the process of buying or selling your property while providing service that is uniquely designed around your goals. So please welcome Jason Bellamy with Home Realty Inc. Oh, there we go. Innovative Staff Solutions is a family-owned staffing agency helping the Midwest's leading employers proactively manage staffing to improve productivity, control costs, and manage employment risks. Their mission is to build successful partnerships with each of their clients, getting to know their businesses inside and out so that they may effectively fulfill their staffing needs. Celebrated their 1-year anniversary in the Owensboro market in May of this year. So please welcome Aubrey Machino and Audra West with Innovative Staff Solutions. Owensboro Insulators is your local comfort and efficiency expert. From spray foam and blown-in products to duct cleaning and duct sealing, they have the knowledge, experience, and tools to maximize your comfort, lower your energy bills, improve air quality, and the overall performance of your space. Serving residential and commercial customers since 2011, and his crew would love the opportunity to offer you a complimentary consultation. So please welcome Matt and Lindsay Purcell and Adam Morris with Owensboro Insulators. Next, Reflections by Talia. Raise your hand if you are expecting, if you have a newborn, a baby near a milestone or a birthday, or if your walls need family portraits. That's pretty much everybody in the room. Reflections by Talia Photography has been capturing those moments for over 11 years and is happily settled in her Victorian studio on Frederica Street. Talia provides a custom experience for her clients with a curated studio wardrobe for mamas, kids, and yes, dads too. You can visit reflectionsbytalia.com for your custom photography experience. So please welcome Talia Gaw with Reflections by Talia. Sky Engineering is a team of experienced professionals in building design, focusing on HVAC, electrical, and plumbing. The team strives to put service above self, acting justly, loving mercifully, and walking humbly. Sky is dedicated to each project, quality assurance, timely completions to make building operate efficiently and affordably. Client vision becomes Sky's mission. So please welcome Wesley Russellberg and Bryce Corbin with Sky Engineering. At this time, we would like to recognize our elected officials who are with us today. We'll ask that you hold your applause to the very end. And if these folks will stand, that'll be awesome. We have with us from Senator Rand Paul's office, Jason Hassert. From Governor Matt Bevin's office, Rebecca House. We have Kentucky State Rep and Majority Caucus Chair Suzanne Miles with us today. Mayor Tom Watson is with us. City Commissioner Pam Smith-Wright. City Commissioner Larry Conder. Judge Executive Al Mattingly. County Commissioner George Wathen. Circuit Court Clerk Jennifer Hardesty Biesecker. Sheriff Keith Kane. We have County Attorney Claude Porter, Jailer Art Maglinger, County Clerk Leslie McCarty is with us today, and school board members from Owensboro Public Schools, we have Jeremy Edge, and from Davis County Public School Board, we have Todd Anderson. Again, a disclaimer, if we missed you, we're sorry, but a round of applause for all elected officials who are with us today. Thank you so much. So it is time to recognize our Ambassador of the Month. And this will be a very familiar face for a lot of reasons. Number one, she's at pretty much every ribbon cutting. Number two, she wins this award every month. So please welcome from Disaster Team, Amber Farmer. They never see her at Disaster Team. A $50 gift card to McAllister's right there for you, dear. Amber, thanks a bunch. Amber really does amazing work, so another round of applause for her. She's awesome. So every September, we have this breakfast sponsor, and it's always a pleasure to welcome them and have them with us. So please welcome from Brescia University, Father Larry Hostetter.
Good morning. Brescia is very pleased to sponsor this September Rooster Booster, as has been our custom the last few years. And I'm especially eager to hear our speaker, Dori Howard, an alumna of Brescia. You may have heard that Dori is an expert in the Beatles. And as you can see, the Brescia's intrepid advancement team did another great job taking advantage of the theme for our table decorations. Of course, they wanted to participate in some fashion, and they suggested that maybe I wear a period dress from the 60s. I think specifically something hippie. I thought maybe they thought that I had a bunch of stuff in my closet from back in the day. I don't know how old my staff thinks I am, but I wasn't born yet when the Beatles were founded in 1960. And I was only 9 years old when they were dissolved. If I were to wear what I wore then, I would be dressed like Taylor. And some of you have to explain that to some of the students who are here today. Before proceeding, I not only want to acknowledge our advancement team, but also all the faculty and staff that are here with us this morning, along with members of our Board of Trustees, including our board chair, Kevin Carrico, at the head table with me. Would all of you stand, those of you who are members of the staff, faculty, or the board? Thank you for your hard work and dedication to our mission. We also have a few students here today, just a few because most of them are getting ready for class. Would you all stand, please? The reason why we go to work every day. Of course, our alumni. I know there's a lot here today. Would you all please stand, or if you're taking a class at Brescia, please stand. Thank you. Our students and our alumni are the reason why we exist. They are making and will continue to make an incredible difference in our world. Whether here at home or far away, Brescia University alumni are making the world a better place. I'd like to share with you just a brief story of how that kind of crystallized for me just this past spring. Some of you heard this story and some of you will hear it again. It happened this past spring. I was attending our Student Government Association inaugural ball. And it's at that dance that the officers from the previous year hand over the batons of responsibility to the newly elected officers. I remember sitting there looking at the group that was standing in front of us, just incredibly impressed with the leadership skills and talents that young people had. And I thought to myself, we're really in good hands for the future. And then the thought occurred to me, they really have no idea. They have no idea, nor do I, but they have no idea what challenges, questions, and problems that they are going to be called on to solve. I didn't when I was 18 to 22 years old. And at that moment, it kind of became crystal clear what we do at Brescia University. We provide experience and education that will prepare these young people and our non-traditional students as well to solve the problems of tomorrow, whatever those problems might be. And I suspect they're going to be tough. All problems are. And so we have to do our best for these young people, for all of our students, young and old, to make sure that they are equipped with the skills necessary, the ability to tackle problems, to hit problems head on, and to continue to make a difference. I know that's the same true with our colleagues in the other educational institutions in Owensboro, at OCTC, at Kentucky Wesleyan, and WKUO. We're all dedicated to that end. And it's that moment of clarity that guided us, or guided me, in the development planning for our next strategic plan, which will have that notion as part of what we hope to do in the next 5 years, beginning in 2020. In fact, we gave a new tagline to this strategic plan of empowering you today to make a difference tomorrow. To that end, I've challenged myself and the Brescia community to think about what it truly means to be a 21st century university, and not just a 20th century university responding to 21st century needs. So what I'd like to share with you is just some of the ideas and initiatives that are emerging from the strategic plan. It's not fully developed yet. Our board hasn't approved it yet. We hope to have that happen this year. Some of these ideas are already in development. We want to continue to build on the momentum of our enrollment growth and the changes we made to campus. The new residence hall is finished. Students are living in it. We're going to have a blessing of that today at 12:30 with Bishop Medley, which right after our opening school mass at 11 o'clock. All of you all are invited to attend either event if you can. The new field center on the corner of 9th and Frederica Street on schedule to be finished by January. I can't wait for you to see it. It's going to be an incredible building. not only for Brescia, but for our community. We hope that you, as businesses or institutions, will take advantage of the new lecture hall that will be available there, or some of the classroom space for your own needs. Continuing to modernize our buildings, classrooms, and athletic facilities will be a central feature of our strategic plan. Our plan includes the development of new academic programs, including possible new majors that will appeal to the 21st century student, updating our course delivery systems, and finding ways to make transfers from our community colleges as seamless and smooth as possible. And details of some of these programs will emerge over the next year as the plan takes final shape. One area that we're especially excited about is in our graduate programs, where we have begun the development of new programs and the redesign of existing ones. A redesigned MBA will offer an online learning opportunity to create greater flexibility for the student. We hope to launch a Master's of Clinical Psychology. It's in the works and will be ready for our regional accreditors within this year. Pending approval from those accreditors, we hope to launch the program in the fall of 2020. We're especially grateful to Owensboro Health for supporting this program with a $1,000 community needs grant. A Master's of Speech Language Pathology has had its first submission to their accreditors, and pending all approvals, we hope to launch that in the spring of 2021. And what is particularly exciting about these programs for me is that we have discerned a need for our own students. These are both programs that are very popular, and there are simply not enough graduate programs for students to be able to get into them easily and quickly. There's often more applicants for these programs than there are places, so we hope to help with that situation. Of course, all of this requires investment in resources. As a nonprofit, we not only depend on tuition revenue, but on the generosity of our friends, donors. To support these programs, our growth, we launched our Onward Brescia campaign, which you probably saw the big sign as you came up the stairs. And by the way, our alma mater is now on the t-shirts that you have in front of you. So if you're in a situation where you need to sing the Brescia alma mater, it's right there, you got the words. But the Onward Brescia campaign is a $3 million effort to pay for residence halls and the initiatives emerging from this strategic plan. People don't know this, but we will be celebrating 100 years in 2025, connecting to the foundation of the Mount St. Joseph College for Women, founded by the Ursuline Sisters well. And so we really want to make that a great celebration to make sure that our foundation is firm and strong, especially as we're so deeply appreciative of all that the Ursuline Sisters have done to get Brescia started and continue in their support. I appreciate all of your support. Many of you support us with your donations, but I also appreciate your prayers and just the support of a community that gathers together like this and celebrates who we are. Our students appreciate your support. Any gift to Brescia is really an investment in our community and in the lives of our students. Any support you offer helps us empower our students so that they can make a difference tomorrow. You are part of that. Thank you.
Well, September is a busy month at the Chamber, and to tell you all about it with her Chamber update, our President and CEO, Candace Brake.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, Father Larry, before we begin, I want to thank you for your leadership in this community. And you look around the room and see the number of Brescia graduates and what an economic engine they are in this community. Thank you so much. The business community owes a lot to Brescia and the leadership that's here today, so thank you. Not to mention that you're ahead of the game in placemaking, and you want to talk about downtown residential and downtown housing. residential units. I mean, they're doing just as much for downtown housing that we could dream of. So thank you all so much, and thank you for your investment downtown. We have a lot of ribbon cuttings coming up. First of all, today at 12:15, we have Financial. And this Friday at 1 p.m. at September the 6th, Father Jerry is here, the pastor of St. Stephen, will be cutting the ribbon on their beautiful new front porch. And that's another example of downtown placemaking, of people sprucing up and making their part of downtown beautiful. Father Jerry, thank you so much. We look forward to celebrating with you tomorrow. Woodman Life, Wednesday, September the 18th at 12:15. Evergreen Lawn Care and Weed Man, Wednesday, September 25th at 12:15. Always fun. We had really big crowd yesterday at the Hayden Home for Girls. It's fun to celebrate the great things that are going on in our community. Speaking of which, tonight we have our Chamber Ag After Hours, which is sponsored by Kentucky Proud. Hillview Farms and Market and their meats center is going to be the sponsor of this too. They're hosting. The Davis County Cattlemen's Association is grilling. We're going to have Kentucky Proud products from all of our farmers that are members. It's going to be a great evening. It starts at 4:30 and ends at 6:30, so please come out and celebrate all the goodness that ag does in our community. CYP has also a busy month. Next week, they have their lunch meeting at the Conference Center, and Kelsey Kirkpatrick Starks is our speaker. CYP has our corporate tour at Glenmore Distillery, and CYP Yappy Hour, that's Yappy Hour, that's for dogs to come, at the Miller House, September the 8th. I'm not a CYP, but my little eagle will be there with me snorting on the porch. And CYP volunteer opportunity this month. The Guys and Ties program is September the 24th at Burns School, and that's when the YP go in with ties and teach business etiquette to the young men in the school. And that's been a really popular program. It's a really neat connection for our local school children to connect with our YPs. YP, speaking of which, so Owensboro was voted by the young professionals across the state to host the YP Summit on November 14th and 15th. So YPs around the state chose us. Great. So what's that mean? Rockin' Darrell, the CEO of Logitech, will be keynote speaker. He'll be coming in from Silicon Valley to speak to the crowd. We're going to also have different breakout sessions and really cool presentations. And it's just going to be a great way for us to showcase our community and really show what we are to people who are actually looking to move places for, quality of life. And that's what we have to offer. We're going to actually also drop our sponsorship proposal today. So if you're interested in sponsoring the YP Summit and being a part of your business's name out in front of that big crowd, let us know. Network is going to be meeting on next Wednesday at 8 a.m. at Old Hickory. And Leadership Owensboro, yes, it's a busy month. Every year we go, there's no way we can top class, no way. And I'm not saying we top in your class 2019. We're not saying that. We do have a great class, and I'd like to introduce those class members right now. I would ask you stand till we've finished introducing the class. And I'm going to sip out my new John Con. Nice. Okay. Bill Berry from MU, Jonas Beasley from Kentron Manufacturing, Courtney Calhoun from Girls Incorporated, Landon Camp, Disaster Team Incorporated, Beth Cecil with the City of Owensboro, Kevin Cullion, the engineer with the City of Owensboro, Jeremy Crowder with Owensboro Health, Jared Daugherty, BB&T, Corey Douglas, Sunrise Children's Services, Dwayne Duke, Regional Water Resource Agency, Nikki Fraley, Alexander Thompson Arnold, PLLC. Did I put one more L in there? Stephen Franklin with the City of Owensboro Public Department, Rice from EM Ford, Chelsea Howard from Evergreen Lawn Care and Weed Man, Deb Jones, Kentucky Wesleyan College, Rachel Knott, Owensboro Health, Blair Lynn Neighbor, Puzzle Pieces Incorporated, Employment Opportunities, Patricia Lovett, Brescia University, Ian McDaniel, M. Ford, Olga McKissick, H.L. Neblett Community Center, Justin Merritt, Osmo, Dr. Jessica Mills, Owensboro Family Pharmacy, Jill Payton, Simply Therapy, PlaySmart Preschool, Matthew Purcell, Owensboro Insulators, LLC, Monica Rice, Owensboro Public Schools, Allison Sanders, KCTCS Workforce Solutions, Becky Shelton, American Bank, Skylar Stewart, grad, Carla Ward, beginning Sexual Assault Support Services, Kristen Whitney, Commonwealth Attorney's Office, and Dr. Elizabeth Wilson, Center for Cosmetic and General Dentistry. Welcome aboard, Leadership Owensboro 2020. Can't wait to get to know you all and to connect you with some great opportunities in the community. Your Go Chamber is at your table this month or this quarter. We focus on innovation, and shout out to Taylor West for the fantastic cover design. Every month, every quarter, they seem to top the last. So thank them, and to all of you who have advertised in this publication. Chamber Matters is at your table. That has a list of our renewals for the month. If you wouldn't mind taking a look at those renewals, as we talk about every month, those are people who are connecting with the community and investing in our regional business and our regional economy. We appreciate your business, and we ask that all of you all make sure that you do business with chamber members first. And John Conti, shout out for the merch again. It's awesome. Great to see you all here this morning, and thank you for the new mugs. We all love them. So we have something after our video that we'll have to stick around for, but we want to talk about the 2019 Business of the Year. The winner of that was Jean's Health Foods, and that was for 1 to 10 employees. If you'll join me in watching this video of our nominees first and the winner.
Aflac Keller & Associates, LLC. Compass Counseling of Owensboro, LLC. Jean's Health Food, Inc. Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, Gavin C. Roberts Agency. L. Ruth Interior Design. Packages Plus. Peacocks and Pearls. Preservation Station Market and Event Center.
I have some really long, busy days and things that I love to do, and I know that I need that extra mental clarity, that extra stamina, that extra focus. That's my go-to spot.
They do that through food and supplements and so many other ways. Just continue to help people find the best version of themselves mentally and physically. And they work constantly to bring wellness and health to Owensboro.
Well, Jean's Health Food in Owensboro truly does fill that gap of what people need in our community. Our health needs, not only the health needs, but just the atmosphere, the ambiance, just that kind of a cool, hip place. You don't feel like you're in a big box store when you're in there. You truly feel like you're at home, and they're your friends, and they can help you out and find what you need. It's home. It's home. Family and home.
They have done so many things with the food truck, bringing all organic food to all locations in Owensboro. The bar, the deli, the lunch back there is incredible. Fresh juices, fresh food, the supplements, the education classes out of the training kitchen that they have. I just can't imagine, with all the new ideas that they have, how much better it's going to get.
Super congratulations to Jean's Health Food and all the staff there. They've been an amazing partner for us, for our family. We have some events, and they always partner alongside us for what we want to do for our initiatives. Jean's truly is that food oasis that we could use more of.
Congratulations. I'm sorry I can't be there to see you get this award that you so deeply deserve. And I'm going to tear up, but if your grandfather were here, he wouldn't be saying as usual when you used to walk in and he would hug you and say, "Have I told you how much I love you today?" He would be looking at you saying, "Have I told you how proud I am today of you?" And for being a beacon of his vision and carrying it through and making it so much bigger and better and stronger. I'm sure that he is smiling down and so proud. And he would tell you that if he were here right now.
Congratulations to Jean's Health Food. So just very quickly, I want to talk to you about something that we are unveiling today that we've been working on for some time with some partners. The Chamber's strategic goal, number 3, is to develop talent and resources to connect leadership opportunities to the overall community. And as we've been meeting with members really over the past 5 years, from CYP to the Leadership Owensboro classes to Leadership Roundtable, we hear consistently, I'm new to town, or hey, I'm not new to town, but I can't figure out a way to serve. I really want to be on some of the local boards, commissions, and be a part of the leadership infrastructure. We talked about it for a couple of years, and we also know that civic health, civic health, one of the indicators of civic health is community engagement. And people that feel like they're part of something will stay there. They will invest in a community and they'll make it better. They feel like they're part of it. So as we do a lot of times when we have concepts, we in the hall to our partner, Sarah Hemingway, who is the executive director of the Young Foundation. And we said, Sarah, we have this idea, what do you think? It like some of your strategic goals too. And if she does, she says, let's get on this. So we met with Pablo Gashastegui from Red Pixel. He's a software engineer, Brescia alum from Argentina. Yes, go and bring those talent people here. And Pablo says, we can do this. So he's designed an interactive database that connect talent to board opportunities. And so far, we've got over 50 nonprofits that are that are part of it. And the mayor and the judge and the city clerk and the fiscal court clerk graciously helped us through every step of this way to make those boards also part of Engage Owensboro, so that everyone in the community can be engaged in those opportunities. That makes us a community. But this would be possible, the Young Foundation. And there are several members of the Young Foundation board that are here today. First of all, our partner, Sarah Hemingway, the executive director, and her board members, Joe Oakley, her board chair, Carol Bothwell, Diane Ford, Dave Kirk, and her intern, Lucy Swinson. So thank you all so much for making this possible. You really are a catalyst for change in our community. And Sarah, thank you for your nimble leadership. We're so proud to work with you. And now I'd like to bring to the Pablo Gashastegui from Red Pixel. I know you can work it like me.
Let's hope. Well, thank you, everybody. It's really exciting to be here today, presenting Engage Owensboro. Like Kenneth said, we've been working on this for a few years now, so it's super cool to be here introducing it and letting everybody see it. So registration is available today. So we just took it up like a few minutes ago. So if you go to chamber.owensboro.com and go into programs, you'll be able to see a new section, Engage Owensboro. From there, you can register and then log in and manage your account. So today what I'm going to try to do is just quickly walk you through kind of what the registration entails, what to expect from the system at large. So the first thing that you have to do to register is go into one of these really exciting web forms where you will enter a username, your name, first name, last name, password, and email to get involved with Engage Owensboro. After that, we send you an email to verify that your email address is correct, that you put anybody else's email address. I don't know why anybody would do that. But just in case, we just verify that. And after you get that email, you click on that link and verify your email account. Well, congratulations, you are a member of Engage Owensboro. Now, at that point, you still cannot connect with organizations in the community. You just need to do one more step, which is provide a little bit more information. So the only required information to be a part of Engage Owensboro, it's what you provided at registration. Basically, your name, your email address. But to become a little bit more of a better candidate for these organizations, you can also provide your resume, which in most cases it's a requirement to be considered for board positions, a little bit more about your expertise, what kind of experience you have, and a little bit of demographic information, your race, ethnicity, gender, and so on. Now, all of these second bullet point is all, optional information, so you don't have to provide it. So the last part of the member registration is where the magic happens. You'll have a list of all the organizations. The chamber has been hard at work recruiting organizations for Engage. So there's quite a list now of organizations that you can select where you can tell them basically what you're interested in and which organizations you're interested in participating with. So one interesting thing is that you can also, the list of information, you can get more information about the organizations to see what type of commitment they would require from you. So they have to meet, if you have to meet a few times a month, how meetings, and so on. So you can make an informed decision as to which organizations you want to engage with. So one interesting thing or one important thing is that you can be providing quite a bit of information about yourself only the organizations that you select on that list will get your information. So you don't have to worry about your information being out there for all of the organizations if you have not selected them. Now, if you have selected all of them, you don't have to worry about looking a little bit over eager or desperate. Only the organizations will not know which other organizations you have selected. So they just know that you express some interest on them. Now, mention that you will receive an email to verify your email account. It's going to be just about any email that you will get bombarded with from Engage Owensboro. With only one exception, it's important to keep your information updated. So if it's been a while since the last time you updated your information, it will just send you a friendly reminder to log in and update your information. Now, in case you're taking a break and you don't want information to be out there for all of these organizations, you don't have to take your account down. You can go to your profile and mark it as inactive. That's also a good way if you're already participating. For example, in board through Engage, you got to a board. You don't want that board to get jealous, so you can just take your account, make it inactive, and nobody else will see your information. So after you register, after you select those organizations, what happens? Well, all the organizations that you've selected will get a notification within a few days that there's new people that they need to look at. At that point, they can see your details. They can choose to contact you and engage with you and make you a part of their boards, offer you an internship, ask you to become a volunteer. So as Kendall said, there's a lot of organizations over there that are pretty eager about getting people on Engage. So make them happy. Thank you.
I do want to tell you we have a big announcement following our featured speaker today, so to invite you to stick around for that. If you've been wondering if you could eat the petit fours on your table, I'm happy to report Father Larry ate during Candace's presentation, so I'm proud to announce it's open season on those. Hey, he ate mine too. Oh, he ate yours too? Okay, so maybe just hand them over to Father Larry today. When you walked in this morning, you may have noticed that we had a very special playlist, like jamming out of Candace's iPod this morning. There's a reason, or iPhone. There's a reason for that. Introduce our featured speaker today. We would like to welcome up our board chair, Dave Roberts.
Well, good morning, Owensboro. How are y'all? First of all, Father Larry, I just want to thank you and Brescia for hosting. I looked at this room and big crowd last month, and this is huge. I was just thinking, you guys, if your foot keeps getting bigger, to get a new room for you guys next September. So great turnout and good to see the folks here. Also, Leadership Owensboro class of 2020. I'm a graduate Leadership Owensboro class of 2010. So kudos to each of you. I know several of the folks going. Look forward to getting to know you guys over the coming weeks. Also want to touch on one thing. A lot of small businesses in here, and Chamber runs like a small business. A staff of 5. We've been a member out on maternity leave, and so it's been a staff of 4. And I just want to give kudos to this staff, Candy, Jacqueline, Susan, and Leidy, for filling the gap over the last couple of months. They've done it admirably, and Hannah, obviously. Sorry, Hannah, and filling it over the couple months here, and really done an admirable job. And so there to be noticed. So I'll tell you real quick before I introduce our guest speaker today. When this came up a couple months ago, and they said our guest speaker's gonna be an expert on the Beatles, and I was thinking, well, Brescia's a sponsor, and I remember there was like bug on the side of the building a while back, a few years ago. And I thought, well, maybe there's I don't know. Anyway, that's where my head went until I read and I saw that it wasn't B-E-E-T, it was B-E-A-T. So I was tricked by that until just a couple weeks ago. So anyhow, so Dr. Howard, you may know something about those Beatles too, but I don't know. But I digress. So it is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker today. Owensboro native Dr. Dori Howard is a popular music studies researcher, lecturer, and historian. A 2006 Brescia University graduate, Howard moved to Liverpool in 2010 to pursue a Master's of Arts in Beatles, popular music Society, the first and only degree of its kind, which academically investigates historical, textual, musicological issues related to the Beatles and their influence on popular culture and society up to the present day. She is one of fewer than 75 people in the world to hold this degree. Howard was awarded a Ph.D. in popular music studies in 2016 with her work on popular music genre analysis and sunshine pop. She currently resides in England, works as a visiting lecturer at Liverpool Hope University. She supervises postgraduate student research and teaches popular music studies at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels on a wide range of subjects: popular music, ethnography, contextual studies, semiotics, film, genre, tourism, and business. She is a freelance public speaker on the Beatles, other popular music topics, is a member of the International Association for the Study of Popular Music, and has delivered papers at popular music study conferences throughout Europe. She's also consulted in online print and television media considerations of popular music, most recently for BBC World News as Beatles expert. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm Rooster Booster welcome to Dr. Dori Howard. Thank you.
That made me sound a lot cooler than I actually am. So I want to start by saying thanks very much for having me. It is such an honor to be here. When I was a freshman at Brescia, the Chamber of Commerce was generous enough to give me a small scholarship. And one of the conditions of the award was that I would briefly speak at the Rooster Booster meeting about what I was studying, which I found terrifying at the time, and it never happened. So I have gotten over my stage fright for the most part at this point, but it could be because I've technically had about 16 years to prepare for being here this morning. Education, opportunities, and confidence that I was given at Brescia set me on a path that is weirder and more wonderful than anything I ever could have expected for myself, freshman at Brescia at the time. And I believe that the experiences that I've been fortunate enough to have would not have been possible without Brescia as a starting point. And it's partly the generosity of the Chamber and the scholarship that you gave me allowed me to be at Brescia in the first place. So I want to I would talk today a little bit about popular music tourism because it's something that I find endlessly fascinating, and I've had the opportunity to study it over the past 9 years or so. So just to avoid any sort of confusion, when I say popular music, I don't necessarily mean pop music, like what you would hear on Top 40 radio, although it does include that. But popular music is a term for simplicity's sake. Basically means anything that is not classical music. So it includes top 40, but it's also jazz, rap, reggae, Scandinavian death metal. You know, it includes loads and loads of different things. So popular music tourism is a type of cultural heritage tourism, which is essentially this idea that people travel to experience the places and activities that authentically represent the stories and people of the past and present. From a cultural perspective, the past and present is a really important part of that definition. So with this in mind, I believe that there are 3 traits of effective popular music tourism. And there have been all kinds of attempts at opening music tourism sites all over the world. And many of them have closed because trying to turn a place into a musical destination can be really difficult for a variety of reasons. But one of those reasons is that many focus so much on the past that they forget the present. I think that successful examples of popular music tourism generally possess 3 traits. So first, effective popular music tourism is involved in the preservation of particular genres of popular music, such as bluegrass, for example, or the legacy of important people or places within popular music. Preservation is a tricky one because it can be a little bit of an empty buzzword in tourism. Everyone wants to preserve, but no one can really agree on what that actually entails or the best way to do it when it comes to things like music. Again, preservation is usually focused on the past, so we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But right now, the second important trait to think about is place, and how strongly a place, space, or locality claims and promotes its music as a regional identity. And this is so important because space and place are intrinsically linked to popular music genres, music scenes, and tourism. So we equate certain music with certain places. So if I say Motown, you think Detroit. If I say country music, you think Nashville. Liverpool, where I live, is immediately associated with the Beatles. Seattle with grunge and Nirvana. Memphis with Elvis and Sun Studios or the blues. And you can find music tourism in every single one of these places because they've done an effective job of claiming and promoting this music as part of the regional identity. For popular music tourism to be successful, it's imperative that there be a strong association in people's minds between a place and its musical heritage. So the third trait of effective popular music tourism, and this is kind of a no-brainer, but nobody really likes to talk about it, it's to make money. So whether it is for profit or whether it cycle back to preservation and promotion of that regional identity, a successful and effective popular music tourism destination generates income. And because we're dealing with music, this is the part where some people start to get a little bit uncomfortable. And that's because there is this fascinating belief, for better or for worse, that if you bring money into any sort of creative endeavor, whether it's making music, writing books, painting, that if you bring money into it, it somehow devalues your creative endeavor. It's this belief that kind of quote-unquote music stands outside of economics or business. So in popular music tourism, a lot of people just kind of expect that an undying love for the music should be enough to keep a tourist destination open. You know, it's not making money that people should just kind of work for free because they love the music so much. And even if it's kind of a boring destination or exhibit or museum that's not well planned or effectively executed, that tourists will just show up anyway because the music's all you really need to get them there. But that's not realistic. And the truth is, everything involved in a monetary system, study it closely enough. And that actually, arguably, we're romanticizing ideas about creativity and art rather than looking at it realistically and critically. So we have to grapple with this kind of push and pull between creativity and commerce to implement a successful tourism strategy. Because with money, the other two traits, preservation and regional identity, they disappear because there's no funding to sustain it as a business. Because that's exactly what tourism is. It's a business. So, like any other business, it's important to think about the product being sold and who's buying it. Because understanding these things is vital to being able to reach those goals of preservation, regional identity, and income. And this is where I think it gets really interesting. So we tend to think of cultural products, songs, albums, TV shows, movies, podcasts. We think about those types of products as being the same as other products in other areas of business. Think about them in terms of record sales or ticket sales, Spotify streams. But from a cultural perspective, it's not that simple. When you buy, for example, a bar of soap, you mostly use it in the same way someone else who buys a bar of soap. When you buy a box of cereal, the way you use it is that you eat it, just like everybody else buys a box of cereal. But when you buy a cultural commodity like a CD or a song download, you use or consume that song in a unique and individual way, based entirely on unique individual background, experiences, and worldviews. We as consumers project personal meaning onto cultural products like songs and albums in a way and to a degree probably wouldn't with a bar of soap or a box of cereal or a pair of shoes or a cup of coffee. And understanding this is key to active popular music tourism. A song, especially a recording, is basically a collection of sounds fixed in time. So if you and I listen to the same song, we're listening to the exact same collection of sounds, no matter when or where we're listening to it. We hear and what we feel are different because we assign and project personal meaning onto those sounds, and we interpret in ways that make sense to us personally. So take the song Imagine, for example, the John Lennon song. When I was in high school, I loved it. I think that a lot of this was partially based on everything that I had read about John Lennon. I knew about his involvement in the peace movement, and that resonated with me as this kind of teenage idealist who thought that the world could be fixed if we all just kind of held hands and loved each other a lot. So I heard it as an anthem for peace and unity. I think that a lot of people do hear it that way, but not everyone. So someone else might listen to the same song and associate it with a particular period of time in their lives, or someone they dated, or with a parent who passed away, or all three at the same time. Someone more politically minded might think of communism. Someone else might even listen to only the melody and pay any attention to the word. So what we hear, our consumption of a cultural product, is based on our own individual experiences. I was surprised to find out that Imagine didn't have that same sort of unifying meaning to a lot of people in 1970 Liverpool as it did to me. So, like in a lot of cities at that time, many people were working multiple jobs if they could find a job in the job market and barely able to make ends meet. And someone from Liverpool told me once that John Lennon, a millionaire from his hometown, telling him to imagine no possessions and saying, "I wonder if you can," didn't really rally him for any kind of peaceful cause because he didn't actually have any possessions and it wasn't on purpose. So it's the exact same song, the exact same product, but every consumer consumes it in a different way. So that's a lot more complicated than just record sales or radio plays or Spotify streams. But the idea of cultural products gets even more complicated when we consider that a consumer's interpretations and meanings can change over time as we change and as the world changes around us. The world is constantly changing. It never stays the same, and neither do we. I can't stand to listen to Imagine anymore. Not because the song itself has changed. It's always going to be that same collection of sounds. But I have changed, and my experiences have changed. And one of my experiences is that there is a street musician in Liverpool who plays the worst version of Imagine I have ever heard in my life. And not only that, it's the only song that he plays over and over and over again. And while I appreciate his obvious enthusiasm and dedication to the song, it has completely changed the way that I hear John Lennon's version, even though John Lennon's version is exactly the same collections of sounds that, I listened to when I was in high school. But I've changed and the world around me changed. But that's what popular culture is. It's change. It's a living, dynamic, kinetic, ever-changing thing. Popular culture is changing right now, even if we're sitting here in this room. So what does this do with popular music tourism? Everything. So tourism might not be a song or album like what I've been discussing, but it's a cultural product that we can understand in the same way. And I told you earlier that preservation is vital to effective popular music tourism, but that it's a contested concept because no one can agree on the correct way to preserve culture like music. And what we've just talked about is the reason why. How do you preserve something like the legacy of the Beatles, for example, when that legacy is understood in a million different ways to a million different people and changes day in and day out? Or bluegrass, a genre of music that so many people love, but for so many different individual reasons. A lot of times, preservation is thought of in terms of artifacts and memorabilia, because these things represent the past, and it's seen as preserving history. And it can be to a point, but we have to recognize that preservation is not just about the past. It's about how we negotiate the past in the present. So if you put one of John Lennon's guitars into a glass case to look at, that preservation. Does it, if we go back to our definition, authentically represent the stories and people of the past and present? Well, it depends on who's looking at it. So many scholars question the idea of museumifying popular culture. Trying to put something constantly changing as popular music behind a glass case to preserve it seems a little bit counterintuitive. It's kind of like putting a pin through a butterfly, through a piece of styrofoam to kind of preserve it. It holds the butterfly still enough for us to look at it up close, but it kills the butterfly. We can see what its thorax and its legs, its wings look like, but we can no longer see what the wings look like in motion, how it's part of a huge ecosystem, the world around it. And that's not to say that looking at a butterfly and a butterfly collection is useful or informative, but it doesn't show the whole picture. And it's the same in popular culture. Looking at musical artifacts in glass cases can be useful and informative, but it doesn't tell us the whole story. It doesn't tell us about audiences and listeners and the way that people use the music. I don't know about you, but to me, that's not effective preservation. Using this type of glass case preservation alone is static. It leaves a lot of people really bored. And without effective preservation, there won't be a strong enough regional identity because chances are not enough people will care enough what they're seeing to remember where it came from, or to tell other people about it. And if no one cares, there's no income that put back into kind of this overall process. So how do we preserve popular culture or popular music in an effective way? I've seen it firsthand in Beatles tourism in Liverpool, and I've also seen it in action here in Owensboro at the Bluegrass Museum. And I think that the key to effective preservation, and therefore effective tourism, is through two approaches: experience and education. Liverpool, music tourism related to the Beatles has completely reshaped the city. According to the research conducted by my colleague, Dr. Mike Brocken, there are over 20,000 jobs in Liverpool that are Beatles tourism related. The population of Liverpool is a little over 550,000. Put that into perspective. So that is a lot of jobs. There are Beatles bus tours, taxi tours, walking tours. You can have a beer at the Cabin Club where the Beatles played 292 times in the 1960s. You can visit the homes where they grew up. You can visit cemeteries and churches, public art related to the band. There's even a weekly International Beatles Festival once a year. To me, the most effective Beatles tourism in Liverpool is taking place at a site called the Beatles Story. So the Beatles Story doesn't call itself a museum. It has a few interesting artifacts, but it's primarily what it claims to be, the story of the Beatles. So at this point in time, the Beatles themselves would be considered a cultural product. As such, the meanings that we attach to the Beatles are different from person to person. My Beatles are not the same as your Beatles. And the Beatles story seems to get that. So it takes basic verifiable information, dates, names, places, and uses them as a baseline. So it's the body of the pinned butterfly, so to speak. Instead of just glass cases of memorabilia, as you move through each room, the exhibition is a replica of different parts of the Beatles story that incorporates scent and sound. So one looks and smells like the Cavern Club from the 1960s. Another is supposed to look like an airplane that they took across the ocean to America in 1964. You can see what names the local record shop run by the Beatles man looked like, complete with listening booths where you can listen to the record. There's even a life-size replica of the cover of Sgt. Pepper. And you can also walk through a yellow submarine. So, as an open-ended experience, this is effective popular music tourism because it allows people to provide their own meanings and definitions of what the Beatles are or why they're important. Because what they are and why they're important is different to everyone. And these meanings are being assigned and negotiated in the present day, not in the past. So the Beatles story is equally accessible and interesting to someone who was a teenager in Liverpool in the 1960s, as it is to someone like me who was born 4,000 miles away, years after the Beatles broke up, as it is to a 12-year-old child from Brazil or Japan. It provides an emotionally satisfying cultural service and product because it allows people to create their own meanings around that basic structure. So it's not just studying a butterfly, it's also walking through a butterfly house in a botanical garden. You get that experience. And I think that the Bluegrass Museum is doing similar great things. It makes so much sense the museum has incorporated multiple performance spaces. And the fact that they host open jams and workshops is exactly what effective tourism looks like. Things like the picking parlor allows bluegrass to be understood and enjoyed on an individual level by letting people play the instruments instead of just looking at them. You get experience bluegrass. You know, I've read about the proposal to build a banjo-shaped Ferris wheel, and I just think that it's such a great idea. Because what a way to reinforce that regional identity through an experience, something active that people can do. Remember that they did it in Owensboro. Not only that, but a visual symbol of bluegrass like a banjo reinforces that link in people's minds that says, this music is from this place. So the other thing that I believe that the Beatles story really gets right is its education department. In the United Kingdom, the Beatles are part of the national education curriculum. So school groups from all over the country travel to the Beatles story where they play Beatles songs on a giant piano with their feet, and they learn about fashion and politics from the time period. And they get to learn the record period and how to use it. So I used to work in this department, and it was absolutely amazing to watch children of the YouTube generation learn how to play a record on a record player. So, like other visitors, the children are introduced to the Beatles on their own terms, in experiential ways, rather than solely memorizing facts and figures and names, which ultimately results in the preservation and the perpetuation of both the Beatles and the Beatles story exhibit as successful commodities. That's effective tourism. Education as preservation cannot be overestimated. I have two friends in Sheffield, England, who are both Brescia alumni, Mackenzie and Andy Barnes. And their little girl is 6 years old, and she's been learning about the Beatles in her classes at school. So she's written a little essay. There's a cute little thing there that she did. She's 6 years old. She knows their names, their music, what they look like. She knows that people listen to their music on record players instead of Spotify or iPhones. And she knows they're from Liverpool. So that's education as preservation. The legacy of the Beatles is preserved through new listeners as young as 6 years old. And the links between the Beatles and Liverpool, that regional identity, is reinforced through elementary school classes all over the country and field trips to the Beatles story. So you have preservation and the promotion of regional identity at the same time. And the Bluegrass Museum is involved in equally effective forms of preservation through its Bluegrass in the Schools initiative, the music camps, and the Saturday music lessons. The Oral History Project upstairs at the museum is another type of hands-on education. This type of education and experiential preservation makes bluegrass tourism in Owensboro effective. It's wonderful. I really think that Owensboro should be so proud of it. So I want to end by saying that I am so proud of Owensboro and to be from Owensboro and to see how the city is embracing and supporting a musical heritage, and that it's doing it effectively. Ticking those 3 boxes that we've discussed. It's preserving bluegrass in a way that allows listeners and fans to identify with music in individual ways, and to negotiate the history of bluegrass with its present day understandings. It's forging a strong regional identity by equating Owensboro with bluegrass and as a bluegrass destination. And as these 2 traits continue to be fostered and cultivated, the income is surely flowing for the city. Because Owensboro is allowing bluegrass to be the living, changing, kinetic music that it is, I'm looking so forward to seeing Owensboro and its music tourism continues to change with it. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So good. Dr. Dori Howard, you would be so fun to take to the money tree. I'm just throwing that out there right now. Seriously. Before we let you go today, it's actually appropriate, I guess, as we're talking about the impact of popular music. We have a big announcement from a local event that actually celebrates popular music, minus the Scandinavian death metal, thankfully. But it celebrates popular music in just an absolutely raucous, hilarious, and wonderful, impactful way. So eyes to the screen, ladies and gents. And we have these fine folks with us this morning. Hit it, Candace. Of course, with Lip Sync Battle, we have to have referee Jeff Reinerson. And you saw the battles on the screen. Let's bring them up first. We have the pop star versus the rock star. Tara Estes. There she is. And Andy Brasher, the rock star. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be, I just can't even wait. Then we have the War of the Wildcats, pitting the Whitesville Elementary School Wildcats against the Sargo Elementary Wildcats. Can we get Candace like photobombing down here hiding behind the TV? That'd be great. What's up? Then we have the Hands That Rock the Cradle, featuring maternity services. Oh, look at them, here they come. Taking on Dr. Rashidian's office. Now, a note about Dr. Rashidian could not be here because currently delivering future lip sync battle participants. Thank you. I'm not sure what it is, but I had the sudden urge to breathe heavily and push. Then, I cannot wait for this. It is a rematch from Dancing with Our Stars. We're calling it the Mirror Ball Brawl, featuring Tyler Shookman, who last year was the biggest fundraiser for a lip sync battle, and the gal who took him down at Dancing with Our Stars, Brandy Roan. Take your time, Brandy. You look pretty as you walk across. Huh? Was the picture okay? I'm gonna be, oh, I knew it. I knew it. The Mirror Ball Brawl, everybody. And rounding out the night will be a series that is tied 1-1. It's The Fuzz, featuring members of the Owensboro Police Department, Davis County Sheriff's Department, Davis County Detention, with the excruciatingly sexy Sal Castro. Taking on The Fire, our friends from the Owensboro Fire Department. Don't be in a hurry. This isn't a 3-alarm breakfast. The Fuzz versus The Fire. It's going to be awesome, an awesome rematch. January 11th, right here at the Convention Center, the 3rd annual lip sync battle. By the way, shout out to Wonder Boy. That video was epic. You all nailed it. Well, thank you for being with us. We will see you in October at the next Rooster Booster Breakfast.